Have you noticed how there have been loads of WWE superstars who have made their way into the movie industry over the years, but only a select few have made a big impact, right? Stars like The Rock and Dave Bautista are now synonymous with the big screen, but they're not the only ones. Today, we're discussing wrestlers who became successful actors in Hollywood after or during their pro wrestling careers. So don't go anywhere. Let's jump straight in then. First up, it's Dave Bautista. Bautista made his name in the WWE under the ring name Batista, joining the outfit in 2000. He spent his first couple of years at Ohio Valley Wrestling before moving to the WWE proper, where he was involved in his first live event in a May 2002 episode of SmackDown. Of course, the peak of his powers would come between 2005 to 2010, when he was crowned heavyweight and WWE champion, which you no doubt remember, right? A brief MMA stint would soon follow in 2012, winning via TKO, before a career change into the movies. His first ever movie role saw him play a wrestler in the 2006 film Relative Strangers, but Dave Bautista was destined for far greater things than uncredited wrestling roles. He would go on to star as Drax the Destroyer in probably his most famous movie role in the Marvel franchise, but has also appeared in plenty of other films such as Kickboxer, Vengeance, Dune, and the recent M. Night Shyamalan's horror Knock at the Cabin. Let us know your favorite Bautista role below. We're talking Ronda Rousey next. Don't go anywhere. Rousey made a career out of taking names and arms thanks to her vicious armbar in the UFC, but a career in WWE beckoned as she parted ways with Dana White's outfit in 2017 after back-to-back losses, which resulted in her losing her bantamweight title. While she didn't appear as a real regular in the first few years of her WWE run, she would win the Raw Women's title in 2018, but would soon go on hiatus. Of course, Ronda is now synonymous with WWE, but she was already appearing in film and TV during her UFC run and made her big screen debut in 2014's The Expendables 3. She would then appear as Turtle's love interest in the 2015 Entourage movie, before going on to make appearances in Mile 22 and Charlie's Angels. She has also guest starred on a whole host of TV shows too, showing that there are many strings to the Ronda Rousey bow. What's the best thing she's done in your opinion? Next up, we have Kurt Angle. Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle is one of the greatest WWE wrestlers of all time. So why wouldn't the creative minds behind Warrior have wanted him in the 2011 film? Angle started his wrestling career as an actual wrestler, winning the heavyweight 100-kilogram title at the 1996 Olympics. Soon after, he would join pro wrestling outfit Extreme Championship Wrestling. However, his star power was there for all to see, and he quickly made his way to the WWF, later WWE. Angle would win various titles over his career, but would leave the organization in 2006 to pursue other wrestling ventures. He would return to the company to become Raw GM in 2017, but during all of this, he had been working on his movie career too. Whilst the 2011 MMA movie Warrior is undoubtedly the biggest film of his career, in which he played the Great Koba, he has also appeared in other films such as Pain and Gain, Sharknado 2, and The Last Witch Hunter. Give us your thoughts on Kurt's movie career below. John Cena is joining us now. Cena is another legend of the wrestling world and is of course a multiple-time champion. Having just celebrated his 20th year with WWE, there isn't much left for the superstar to achieve in the ring, and many have suggested we might have seen him for the last time. However, it's safe to say that Cena has already made his next career move, having been appearing in Hollywood productions regularly since the late 2000s. Over that time, Cena has appeared in some huge movies, including the likes of Daddy's Home, The Suicide Squad, and the recent dramatic film The Independent, proving Cena is capable of the more serious roles too. He has also popped up in a ton of TV shows playing himself, ranging from the legendary Parks and Recreation to Hannah Montana. While Cena will almost certainly be remembered for his achievements in the ring, first and foremost, he is also making waves in the movie theater. What's your favorite role of John's? Let us know below. Next up, it's Lenny Montana. Stick around. Who? We hear you cry? Lenny Montana, of course. If you're unfamiliar with the name, it's probably because Lenny spent time as a wrestler for some small regional promotions in the 1960s before bagging a probably more lucrative gig, working as an enforcer for the Colombo crime family. If this still isn't ringing a bell, maybe we point you in the direction of one of the greatest Hollywood movies ever made. Lenny, who was of course a man-mountain, played the part of Luca Brasi, he who sleeps with the fishes, in The Godfather, and reportedly bagged the role after working on set as a bodyguard to one of the mobsters representing Joe Colombo's interests nervous in the movie. In a famous scene, Lenny, as Luca, is seen mumbling his lines before he meets with Marlon Brando's Vito at the very start. This was actually because he couldn't remember his lines for the following scene, but it also played nicely into the fact that his character was nervous about meeting Don Corleone, so the producers decided to leave it in. We're talking Hulk Hogan now. Another absolute legend of the wrestling world, Hulk was the biggest and most recognizable star of WWF, WWE during the 1980s and 90s, and every kid wanted to be him. He also turned out for a whole host of other promotions during his career and won everything the sport had to offer. Of course, given his star power, he was able to bag a role on the third installment of the Rocky franchise as Thunderlips, but that was just the beginning of his career on the silver screen. I mean, how could you forget his appearance in Gremlins 2, right? Of course, Hulk would appear in the 1999 Muppets in Space film, but he has also been the focus of his own TV show, Hogan Knows Best, whilst also dropping by in a slew of other shows in cameo roles. Who was your favorite wrestler during Hulk's heyday? Give us your thoughts below. Stone Cold is rolling through next. Stay tuned. Steve Austin was the owner of arguably the greatest ever finishing move in pro wrestling, the Stone Cold Stunner. That's our opinion, and we're sticking to it. The bald-headed hero ran riot in the WWE around the turn of the century and struck up some excellent rivalries and alliances with other legends such as The Rock and The Undertaker during this time. Of course, Austin was already appearing in TV shows and movies during his WWE career and played Inspector Jake Cage in Nash Bridges for 6 episodes back in 1999. However, bigger roles beckoned and he would later appear in The Longest Yard, whilst later hosting his own TV shows in the shape of Steve Austin's Broken Skull Challenge and Straight Up Steve Austin. And finally, it's The Rock. No list of movie star ex-pro wrestlers would be complete without Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Arguably the biggest Hollywood icon at the moment, Johnson regularly appears at the top of highest-paid film stars in the world list, and rightly so. The Rock first appeared in the WWE back in the late 90s and was super successful in the organization. He would leave in the mid-2000s to focus on his film career, but would never be too far away from the action, as he would regularly return to the ring, most notably for his feud with John Cena during the early 2010s. He would also appear sporadically over the rest of the decade, but it's safe to say that he is now probably more synonymous with his action hero status. Having kicked off his acting career in the 2001 movie The Mummy Returns, Johnson would bag his first lead role in the following year in The Scorpion King, and more iconic roles followed, as he was added to the Fast and Furious franchise back in 2011 in Fast 5. And his career has simply exploded since then, as he has appeared in other big movies such as San Andreas, Red Notice, and the recently remade Jumanji movies. Of course, The Rock was always destined to play a superhero, and this year has finally turned out for DC as the much-anticipated titular Black Adam. Have you guys seen this one yet? Who do you guys consider to be the best wrestler-turned-actor of all time? Give us your thoughts below. As always, thanks for dropping in on us today, and remember to swing by again next time for some more fun and games. And why not do us a solid by liking today's video, whilst also sharing it with any pro wrestling fans you might know of. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on more great content in future. Bye guys!